What I'm about to share with you is really important to my culture and my people.
The initiative is about learning, sharing and educating about the Aboriginal culture.
Just thought it would be a really powerful and strong idea to get non-indigenous artists working with indigenous artists just to promote the culture.
Wurundjeri Ball, Yimakonni Big. The Wurundjeri people welcome everyone to Laneway.
Yeah, my name's Shane Cook and most people know me as Munkacha. When I was 12 years old, I got burnt to about 28% of my body, 3rd-degree burns. I was at a friend's house from primary school. There was a few lads around, mucking around with petrol on the floor and all that kind of stuff, lining up ant holes. And just standing around, wasn't touching it at all, just standing around watching, and it actually got thrown at me and lit me up on fire. I received burns to 28% of my body, most of them were 3rd-degree burns to my hands, my throat, my chest, my back. And from that I had skin grafts, so I had skin taken off my legs to fill the skin in on my throat and chest. And yeah, I ended up being in hospital for 5 months before I could leave, and then for the next 4 or 5 years I was in and out of hospital having operations and skin grafts and operations like that. Most of the nerves were burnt, and as well as my sweat glands, so in summer and any physical activity I do, I can't actually sweat from where I'm burnt. I think all my anger came out more so in fighting. When I got picked on, I got to a certain point where I had enough and I just started lashing out a lot and getting myself into lots of fights, and then from there hanging out with other kids, being boys and running amok and that kind of thing. Growing up, I was picked up as a at-risk youth and put into various youth work programs and whether it be art programs or cultural programs. And I met a guy through my school. He was my Aboriginal education worker at the time, or at the school. His name was Jack Buckskin, and he pretty much took me under his wing to explain to me what Aboriginal culture was really about, because I never really knew much about it. So to me, all I kind of seen was, I heard the stereotypes and that kind of thing. So to me, because I didn't know much about it, I kind of thought that's what the culture was.
You know, he did like to fight in school and caused a lot of trouble in class. And then as me as a teacher now, I think, sometimes it's best to get rid of those disruptive students. But he had an avenue where he could come with me, and I'd take him into the room and just talk about Aboriginal language and culture and how important it was to me and how important it should be for him as well.
Learning more about my culture and what it is to be a young Aboriginal man changed my life quite a lot. It gave me some direction and some purpose in that. At that time in life, I didn't really feel like I had no direction on what I wanted to do, or had no real hobbies, nothing like that. So learning about all that kind of stuff gave me some direction and focus on learning about myself, which is what I think I needed to work on the most.
There's been a lot of sickness and everything in Aboriginal culture. Unless you was a footy star, then you didn't really get much attention. So he's really raising the awareness of Aboriginal art and culture in another industry, I guess. Which is great to see, because there's more to us than just a pretty face and somebody that can shake a leg.
I wear my scars with a lot of pride. I think anyone that has got a scar, it shows people to a certain extent that they've been through something and they've actually beaten it, because they're still around. It's just to me, it's like a badge of how strong I was at that point in time in my life. So
when I first met Munkacha, I learned about how his life was dramatically changed through learning about his heritage and his culture. It was a notion that we both wanted to build upon and conceive the idea to collaborate between Indigenous and non-Indigenous artists to create public artworks in a process which would educate, reconcile, unify and showcase our rich Indigenous culture.
So this initiative, this project, come from me and Jake just talking, and me wanting to promote culture and also my art, and just thought it would be a really powerful and strong idea to get non-Indigenous artists working with Indigenous artists just to promote the culture.
A project like this can be very sensitive, so thankfully I got in contact with a local Indigenous family who not only wanted to curate the event, but they wanted to make sure all the protocols were adhered to.
Yeah, when he asked for my family to be the curators of the mural, we were so touched and honoured, and it was a big surprise to have us represented in a beautiful and I guess true way.
Like Jake just seeing it and catching hold and saying, nah, I want you to be a focal point of this, to be able to help guide us but also show us in the culturally appropriate way, but also just sharing your culture in a way that helps educate everybody else that is a part of it.
And I feel so honoured to be asked and to be a part of this amazing initiative with some awesome street artists.
A powerful movement and an amazing opportunity just for us as a family to be the curators and also artists, but also to become alongside other well-known and international artists and share our culture with them, and also have that communication of sharing what this story is.
I think this project would be good for reconciliation and just Aboriginal cultural awareness, just for not for our people but for everyone, just to give them an insight about the good things about this culture that we've got.
Womenjeka welcome. Wurundjeri Ball, Yemen Kondi Big. The Wurundjeri people welcome everyone to land today. Wurundjeri no, Buddhambo War, Kondi Nagnak, Dubin and Big Bully Ball, Chilikan. The Wurundjeri people want you to look after and protect the land as they did long before. In Aboriginal culture, a great deal of respect is given to the land, the plants and the animals alike. And I've got these beautiful gum leaves down here. Please, if you get an opportunity, I want you to take a nice one and put it in your pocket for the evening, please. The significance of that is it'll keep you safe while on country and give you the access to the resources while you're on country. While you're on Wurundjeri country, you're welcome to everything from the tops of the trees to the roots of the earth. So Womenjeka welcome. Thank you.
Being able to come together as a community from different backgrounds, different stories, but we're all connected by art, culture, and, well, this laneway, but also this land in which we stand on, which is a beautiful thing. What he's doing in his own community, and just his creativity and his just rawness, and also his own story, and just being able to just share with another brother. He's such a humble man, and I think to have done the works that he's done all around Adelaide, and also having that thing of like, being one. I'm not sure how many other Indigenous street artists there are doing works like he's doing, but it's a great way to represent his own culture, and it was such a deadly opportunity to meet him and seeing his work and just the creativity and how he weaves in his culture and his markings. It was just a great way to see, all right, boom, this is how he does it, and giving us ideas and stuff, so it was really cool.
It's not only the indigenous artists passing on our information to the other non-indigenous artists, but it's also us gaining knowledge from them as well while we're working together.
Head up there, arms out there, torso here, one mob.
Deadly. Awesome.
Spend their hard earned, start repeating your verses. Reaching for the stars, but not reaching the person. Jump in the deep end, just breaking the surface. Not standing in line so they can not surface. But you gotta be patient. Are you willing to wait there when the time is right? Are you ready to take it? I've been honing my components, waiting for my moment, and now I'm gonna earn it. Just feed me my opponents. Ain't no one been ahead of me. I'm spitting kerosene, the catalog is junk, man. I'm leaving legacy, and I give them every right to be mad at me. They can only take aim at the one they see. You're shot, son. Anything worth having ain't never coming easy. It's the heart that we're wrong now, bring another meal. Anything worth having ain't never coming easy.
Well, I guess my culture is the foundation of all my creative works. I draw from that in everything I do, not just in my arts, but in my life. Growing up hearing all the stories of my ancestors and of my history, and everything that they've gone through and overcome and what they've achieved has inspired me. Just to hear about my family in Victoria and what they've helped to develop, and on my mum's side, what they've achieved. Yeah, it's the biggest inspiration in all my work. Painting the feature wall with Mike Macatron was so cool. He's such a legend of a street artist, and he taught me so much with the spray can and all of that. It was my first time doing anything like this, spray can or roller thing. Yeah, I learned so much, it was so cool.
What can we do is we get rid of a lot of that red and the bricks there with like a fat roller. Then we start putting a wash in of some grey, and then let's do this with cans, the yellows and stuff. You use cans much? Okay, it's easy, I'll show you.
My identity is a painting that is about my identity and where it comes from. It starts off with the roots and the markings and the colour in that, and that represents my ancestors and all their trials and tribulations and sacrifices and everything they went through, and everything that they achieved, and each mark kind of represents their mark left on this earth, what they have sown into for their future generations to reap. And so the roots represent my connection to my country and to my ancestors, and how I am reaping from their sowing, and how I have been built on a strong foundation of rich nutrient soil that is, I guess, guiding me and is feeding my soul and my other family. And then the branches, they represent different paths I'm going down and different, I guess, my journey and things I'm really sowing into. As leaves grow, they drop seeds for other trees to be born or grown, and that's for my future generations to reap from. So the journey that I'm on will impact my future generations, and the journey that everybody is taking impacts the next. Being given the opportunity to paint it on this big scale in the centre of Melbourne is so awesome, and I feel like it is really for everybody. It's not just for us, but for everybody to look at, reflect on, and see their own journey. For them to also look back on their own roots and see where they've come from and how their ancestors made sacrifices for them, and hopefully that can help them on their own personal journey. It was nerve-wracking being asked to curate for some of the best street artists in the whole world.
Having the opportunity to paint with guys on such a high level, even though that I'm not as experienced as them, but each of our art's different in a different way, it kind of helps me take my art to the next level and give me an insight on different aspects of art and different approaches and methods and all this kind of stuff. It just kind of opens it up and gives me more ideas about what I want to do in my future from hearing their stories. And
it was so cool just being amongst them and painting with them.
I think it is very important to include Aboriginal artists in the project because it is their culture. It has to be honoured and treated with respect.
You know, very honoured. It's very foundational in regards to this country. So therefore there's a lot of respect and love involved.
Kind of telling them the story was so important to us, but I'm so glad that they listened and they were inspired by, and that there was a real mutual respect, and it just really worked, the whole collaboration, and it was really cool.
the Be Deadly initiative, I want to see it grow, and I hope this is an ongoing thing for not only Melbourne but other states as well.
Is something that we hope to be a national thing in every state. Every community will want to be a part of it, because it's not just that thing of, oh, there's some cool artwork. No, it's an empowering thing. It's that thing of like, the communities will take a hold of it and say, no, that's our place, that's our artwork.
I think this initiative, Be Deadly, would be deadly all over Australia. Aboriginal culture needs to be represented in a beautiful and true way with all cultures in Australia, but run by or curated by Aboriginal people. And I think it will make a great impact, and the story behind the artwork will inspire other people.
Look at what we're doing just in these little realms of community that we've never thought of going into, and closing the gap, closing that knowledge gap, and that part of reconciliation.
And that goes the door open? Yeah. So much easier with food. Okay, smiling.
Now I've just learnt so much already, just painting around them, and especially here in Melbourne, in Fitzroy, where I have so much family history. I feel really, I feel like it's a really important thing to be a part of, and for my family as well.
Standing in this laneway, I feel the great sense of pride and honour. This is what it is to be a part of an Aboriginal culture, a dance, a ceremony, a part of that artwork. It's a living thing that just draws you in.
When I stand in that laneway, I feel the energy of the artists and the Indigenous community that have given us the opportunity to paint this laneway.
That true sense of, alright, this is the identity and this is the story that has been untold, but doing it in a creative and a forward-thinking way.
The main purpose of this initiative is when we work together we can come up with something pretty deadly.
That blending of culture, and it's a beautiful thing to see, and I think not a lot of people would see street art in that sense of family, and I think it's like already built that kind of motley crew of a family and being a part of this story, and we get to always have that together there, so it's been cool.